You're doing side hustles wrong. If you've got a side hustle that you've been working on for a while and you're not making any money, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 keys to make sure that you can make any side hustle worth your time and maybe even turn it into a full-time business. What I want to share with you is 3 keys to make your side hustle successful. Side hustles are just like acquiring businesses. You're adding a new revenue stream to an existing one. Over the years, I acquired many businesses. I acquired businesses to grow existing businesses. I acquired businesses as standalone businesses. And there's always an evaluation criteria that you look at to make sure that it fits. So what I want to share with you is the 3 C's of evaluating those decisions and determining if this is the right thing for you and if you're likely to succeed at it. The first C is customer. The first question you should ask yourself is, do I already have the customer? So if you're in real estate and you've got a database of clients, what other things could they use? If you're in home services, what other services can they use? The most difficult part of entrepreneurship and running a business and managing a business is acquiring customers. When you work in a corporate setting, customers are delivered to you by a sales and marketing group. You're just servicing the business. When you're an entrepreneur, you've got to find the business. You've got to go find those customers. You've got to attract and acquire those customers. And that is the hardest part of any business. If you already have an existing customer base or network of people you can service with something else, that makes your likelihood of success exponentially higher, because the hardest part of this business, finding the customer, you've already done. A great example of that is the real estate example. So I have been a real estate broker since 2017. One of the first businesses that I started was a property management company. My real estate clients were buying properties and they had needs around their properties. They're also buying investment properties and they needed a manager to place tenants and manage those properties for them because they did not want to manage the properties. They wanted passive income. So I was servicing the same client with a different need, but it was still the same client. I wasn't searching for a different customer. Another great example is I invested in an insurance agency that we quickly scaled to 7 figures a year, working off the same network of people. When people buy real estate, they need insurance too. They need to insure their home and their automobiles. They need umbrella policies. Again, the same customer. The beauty of these businesses is that I didn't have to go acquire new customers. I already had the customer. I was just finding different ways to service them. We often refer to those as ancillary businesses. They're kind of businesses that you stack or run alongside an existing business. And those are extremely lucrative because the most expensive and difficult part of the equation, acquiring the customers, already done. You already have them. You're just providing another service. And more importantly, they already know, like, and trust you. So the likelihood of them using you for that service is significantly higher. So the first C of this equation is customer. Do you already have the customer? That will help you jump so much farther ahead in the process and make your likelihood of success significantly higher. All right, number 2 is capacity. Do you have the capacity to take this on? And capacity comes in many forms. It could be financial capacity, it could be time capacity, it could also just be mental capacity. So time capacity would be, do you actually have the time to work on this business to the extent that it needs? In many cases, I've seen people take on side hustles that require significantly more time than they expect. For example, I've seen very successful entrepreneurs get into coaching. Coaching is a great revenue stream. However, it is entirely dependent on your time. You can't coach somebody if you're not available. So if you already have a full plate, coaching's probably not a great idea for you. You may have the customer already, but you may not have the time. And the time you do have, you're taking away from something else, whether that be your existing business, whether that be your family, whether that be your personal time. You've got to find that time somewhere. So a time-intensive side hustle may not be the right thing for you. Financial capacity. The side hustle may require investment. You may need a certain set of systems or equipment that all has a cost. Do you have the financial capacity to make the required investment to make that business successful? In many cases, the investment may be more than you're prepared to make. The beauty of a side hustle is that you want to keep it simple. Having to go buy a bunch of things to make it work is going to make that more challenging for you. When you've got that investment made and you're not making any money, that's when stress starts to creep in. That's when you start to feel a little bit frustrated. If you don't have a lot of money in the side hustle, the progress being slow doesn't hurt as much. When you've got money invested, that's really challenging to keep staring at the cost that you've put into this business, returning to you nothing. And lastly, mental capacity. If you have a very busy or hectic schedule or lifestyle, if you've got a business and a family and you've got a full plate, maybe you don't have the mind space to take something on right now. I see this all the time. People say, oh, I'd love a side hustle. I want to make more money. But they get home at night. They're exhausted. They just want to watch Netflix. They're not in the mood. They don't really want to get after it. And if you aren't willing to make that time commitment because you don't have the mental capacity to do it, you're never going to succeed. And the more you sit there and struggle, the more frustrating it becomes, the more down on it you get. And then you end up in a position where not only does it not make you any money, but it begins to detract from your personal life because it's bothering you. You're not making the progress you think you should. So that second one is capacity. The last C is capability. Do you have the skills required to be successful in this business? Is this something you already know, or do you need to go learn something? That's another massive hurdle to side hustles, is if there's this large learning curve. The time it takes to invest in all the education that you need, whether it's YouTube videos or courses or trainings or webinars, whatever it might be, that is more time, that is more learning. You're learning new skills. I love learning new skills, don't get me wrong. But if this is a side hustle that you don't have a ton of time to commit to, and you're trying to make this into something quickly, having to go learn a bunch of things is not going to make that process any easier for you. It's going to be a lot more frustrating. It's going to take you a lot longer to get results. And in the end, that's usually a great formula for just giving up. You realize this is more than I signed up for. I really don't want to do it. I'm going to pass on it. So capability is kind of a funny one because I see a lot of people that are like, well, I'm a math teacher. I'm going to get into affiliate marketing. It seems easy. Everybody's doing it. It's just social media. It is. And there are aspects that you can do. But there's also a sales formula and a content formula that needs to be followed, which you have to learn. And then you've got to go actually make all the videos. You got to know how to edit. You got to know how to copyright. There's a lot of pieces that go into that. That may not be the best thing for you. The key to capability is understanding what you already know, what skills you already have, and what skills or things you might need to learn to move forward. If there's more skills you need to learn to move forward, then it may not be a good fit for you. It may also might be the right time for you because you're going to have to divert your time and attention to something completely different. You got to learn something brand new, and that comes with its own set of frustrations and hurdles. So capability is one of those where you need to take a good look inside and understand who you are, what you're good at, what fits with what you do, and decide if that's the right decision for you. I always tell people, if you're going to get into a side hustle, find something that you already know. If you're already good at something, do more of that. If you do something during your day job, do more of that. A great example might be that you're a bookkeeper for a local company. Offer bookkeeping services to small businesses in your area. Utilize skills you already have. If you're a math teacher, tutor, offer tutoring, offer online courses. Take the knowledge and skill set that you have and package it up in a way where you can serve other people with it and make money in a much faster manner without having to go learn a bunch of new things. So again, 3 C's. Customer. Do you already have the customer, or do you have to go acquire them? 2, capacity. Do you have the time, financial, and mental capacity to take on something else? And lastly, capability. Do you have the skills required to be successful in this business? And if not, how many things you need to learn? If you can follow those 3 criteria, it'll help you understand if this is a side hustle that's likely to be successful or not. I've turned 3 side hustles into what have become full-time businesses because they fit all those criteria. Property management. I already had the customer. I had the capacity because it was part of what I was doing anyways, working with these clients, and I found leverage. And capability. I already knew property management because before I got into real estate as a broker, I was the president of one of the largest property management companies in the area. I learned property management in that way. Insurance. Capacity. Didn't have to worry about it. Found a great operating partner. Partnered with them and empowered them to run that business. It did take financial capacity. I had to invest in the business. I was able to do that. Capability. I didn't have to worry about capability. I wasn't writing the insurance. The operating partner was. And customer, I already had the customer. So I was able to just take that customer, point them right to this insurance agent and say, here, you should go talk to him. He'll help you out. That one was very simple to add. So as you're thinking about other ways to diversify your income, set up side hustles, think of a side hustle as something you want to be able to get started quickly, that you can make money quickly without a lot of frustration. Because when you can have some successes and you can begin to scale that up because it doesn't require a lot of time and attention and resources, now all of a sudden you begin growing that business, you can turn that into a full-time income. And as that business scales and becomes profitable on its own and can stand on its own, you can start to put more resources behind it, whether that's staff or some leverage or systems or tools or whatever, automations to help make it easier. But you want to get off on the right foot by having the customer, the capacity, and the capability to get started. If you have those three things, you will have significantly more success with your side hustles, you will make more money, and you will enjoy beginning your entrepreneurial journey by setting yourself up for success. Hope that helps. Leave a note in the comments. Have you started a side hustle? Are you having success? Would love to hear those stories. See you all soon.